Hey y'all, welcome to the Hey Dad, Can You Talk podcast. My name is Bailey Garner. I'm your host, and every other week we call my dad Toby, and we just have a real and raw and honest conversation about things that are going on in life, whether it's relationships, parenting, mental wellness. We talk about all of it, and we want to bring you along too because you're not alone in your struggles. Lots of times these things aren't talked about, and you might feel like you're the only one, but you're not. And so let's go ahead and do it. Let's call my dad.
Hello, B. What's up?
Hi, how are you, Daddy-O?
Just doing just fine. And you?
I'm doing good. I feel like I'm kind of in a funk today for some reason.
Well, I hate that. Your kids are about out of school and the pattern is changing. And sometimes when the pattern changes, it takes a little while to get used to, right?
Yeah, I think it's interesting because the last couple of days, I feel like Gideon's had some just meltdowns or just not been able to self-regulate his emotions as well as he usually does. And last night, Grant and I were talking about like, why has he been like this? And we were thinking through how things at school have been different. They're not on their normal routine. They're about to be, all this stuff. And so he's like very much likes a routine and to know what's coming up. And so then this morning I've just been like kind of down and I was like, it's like we're the same person or something. Cause I feel just kind of weird.
Almost like he's your child or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if I get teary on this episode, it's only cause I don't know why, I'm just weirdly emotional today.
Well, let's to help you out. Why don't you talk a little bit about the state of what you like to call your garden?
It's my garden until you get here, and then it's yours.
Okay. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going so good, actually. Very few weeds. I feel like I've just taken ownership this year. So I've been researching and learned about fertilizing and when to water. And so we've had some blueberries. Our green beans are growing well. We're about to get big broccoli. Tomatoes are doing good. We have a little jalapeno pepper. It's going very nicely. I have a routine of going out in the morning and checking on it. And it's very peaceful out there.
Yes, it is. And I know that Esther enjoys going out there and trying to find something.
Yes, she comes with me in the mornings. And so it's our little routine. So that's been fun. I've enjoyed it. How you planted a garden too, though. You haven't got to tell them about it.
I did. I decided that since my Mississippi garden basically doesn't have anything in it that I like to plant in the garden, or very few things.
Yeah,
because half of it is open everybody with 2 watermelon plants that will not make it. But anyway,
actually, one is growing very well, so we'll see.
Let's see. Yeah, but for the sake of brevity, so that Prissy won't get mad and turn this off. We are going raised bed gardening. So I've gotten 3 huge raised beds on a gravel. I brought in made a pad, some gravel, some pea gravel, and room to expand it. So it's starting to grow. It's starting. You can really control that environment so well in a raised bed. So we're pretty excited about seeing it. If I keep the dogs out of it, we'll be great. Awesome.
I can't wait to see it in a few weeks when I come to visit.
Oh, you're coming?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
How are you doing today?
I'm all right. I'm having a week at home, which is very unusual for me. And it's kind of like I was telling somebody the other day, it's kind of like when you're riding a bike up a hill, which is what it's kind of felt like with all this travel. When you don't really think about it because you're just trying to get to the top of the hill. And when you stop up at the top, like I am right now with a little break, you go, wow, I'm tired. Mm-hmm. So I've been pretty tired, tired this week, but I'm good. Everybody's good here.
Good. Well, as we go into summer, something you've been talking a lot about, I feel like in lots of different circles, but I haven't got to really talk to you about it, is this concept of cultivating peace in your home during the summer so that you can be prepared when you're going into busy seasons like the fall. And Grant and I were just talking through what our summer routine going to be for the kids? How are we going to limit screen time? How are we going to make sure they're reading? All these things. And I feel like summer is so exciting. There can be, we have some trips planned and things like that. So it can feel busy, but at the same time, you want to be getting rest, and it's like you want to have a schedule, but not too tight of a schedule. And you want to, I don't know, it can feel like what's the best solution. And so I wanted to kind of hear your heart on ways to cultivate peace and why that's important.
Yeah, I think, let me say it this way. I think in every family at whatever age, the summer is a time where people are finding activities, partly recreation, partly to give the kids something to do for purpose. But a big part of it is you're kind of preparing them for the next school year. If you got a child that's into baseball, they're into summer baseball or baseball lessons, or in Texas where football is king, all of these middle school and high school kids are taking special instruction to get faster or quicker to play football. Some are in band or music. And so there's been some time this summer taking classes or being in some kind of camp so they can get better at their instrument. Even all the way down to, my little 7-year-old grandchild here, Esther, excuse me, Evie, the other E.
Yeah.
She was telling me about all the camps that she was going to. And, kids go to academic camp in the summer. Some go to camp to learn some more skills to be ready for the next year. And I'm proposing that in the summer, as you begin to schedule activities, and most of the time it's like, what do we want to do? As opposed to, hey, at the end of the summer, what do we want to be? Where do we want to have made progress? And I'm sorry, this is a long answer. I don't know how to make it short, but
no, it's good.
I think, in the not too recent past, depending on when someone's listening to this conversation, we had a shooting in Allen that everyone was talking about. We had Nashville this year. We have all of these tragedies. And I don't say this with a sense of like impending doom, the sky's falling, but there's no reason to believe there's not going to be, as we go into another school year, those kind of issues at some level somewhere. And so I am proposing that instead of reacting when those moments come and me making the rounds on the media like I do about, how do you help your kids in light of that, that you spend some time this summer preparing your children emotionally and mentally for the next school year. Your kids need, they need like a place that they can go back to that is unchanging when something in their world changes. They need something that you can either direct them back to if they're struggling mentally, or quite honestly, correct them back to if there's a behavior that you want to change. And so I would say this summer is the time to build that reference point and to say, look, man, as my kids are home this summer in the middle, not instead of those activities, but in the middle of all those activities, I'm challenging people to take 5 minutes a day. Take 5 minutes a day. Why? Because I am convinced that most of us in America do not understand. We seriously underestimate the power of small things done consistently over time and how incrementally things begin to change. And so I'm challenging moms and dads to take 5 minutes a day and take a tool like the 40 IMs, and we're going to, if you're of a coloring age child, we're going to color a picture. Every day, we're going to say that out loud. If you've got a middle school or a high school student, hey, we're all going to pick one and we're going to put it on the mirror of our bathroom. And we're going to talk about it once a week. And take a tool like that and consistently over the summer, add a tool every week or so, add a gratitude chart, Bailey, I would say to you, put a gratitude chart up and begin the pattern of every day, everybody has to write something they're grateful for. And then once a week, we're going to talk about what was on our list. Every day. The beginning of the week, we're going to pick a 40 IM and then we're going to say it every day. You've got 3 kids. It would take you maybe 8 minutes, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
to do a gratitude chart, to do a 40 I am, and then maybe for your child, it's a breathing exercise. We're going to teach you a breathing exercise this summer, a way that when I watch Gideon, and when he begins to get anxious, okay, let's change the triggers. This is a positive trigger, not a negative trigger. When I begin to feel uptight or anxious, remember, we're going to practice our breathing exercise. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just a better way, I think, to spend some time in the summer when you have time.
Mm-hmm.
When your kids are home, to say, hey, we're going to take 5 minutes a day and we're going to practice one of these things. And don't make a big deal about it. Just start it and just say, this is a part of our routine. This is what we're going to do. Your kids don't have to go to bed as early. I don't care if they're little kids or older kids. There's more free time. And so capture some of that time. And what will happen is, my word is, you begin to build a culture and atmosphere of peace in your home. And now they go back to school next year, and their little girlfriend breaks up with them, or the little boy doesn't ask them to the dance, or they have a friend drama. Well, now we go back to those things, right? And if they're challenged, like in choosing bad friends, it's not like, oh, you're a good kid and that's a bad kid. It's more of a, hey, man, who did God create you to be? And is this person helping remind you? Or are you having to remind yourself? It's a place to go back to. That's a long answer to, but I just think if we intentionally spend a short amount of time every day, we can begin to build those things into our home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's great. And thankfully, we have a lot of those tools on our website, beagoby.com. So, as you were mentioning the thankful chart, I was thinking I could print them out and make them little books, and that they each get their own. And we go over it we do it in the morning at our breakfast time or whatever we're going to do. So I think that's really good. And I know you've said this a lot about thinking through things with the end in mind and what they want to become at the end of the summer versus what we wanted to accomplish. And I think it's fun because so many people make, summer bucket lists of all the things we want to do, but it would be fun to also make a summer bucket list of who we want to be, how we want to grow or who we want to be at the end of the year. So, yeah, that's a good idea.
That is a great idea, to have that kind of bucket list as well and let everyone participate. And as I tell you all the time, but you need to remember, they're not going to like it all the time. They're not going to, it's not going to be what you have in your mind. And my thing is just outlast them.
Mm-hmm.
I have parents all the time of older middle school or high school kids say, well, my child, they just don't do, they always roll their eyes, or they're always trying to get out of it. And I'm like, well, be the parent. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
They don't, like, your responsibility is to be consistent in ensuring that it happens. Their reaction is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is continue to be consistent, continue to move forward, and you just outlast your kids. Remember, they're kids. They're not supposed to like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I can get easily overwhelmed, like with all the things I should be doing with the kids, like making them read, sending them outside, making sure they're not watching too many screens, making sure they're getting along. I don't know. It just can feel overwhelming. But I think if you start with, at the end of the summer, I want them to have learned to be bored and what to do when they're bored, and then go backwards. Well, then what am I going to prioritize, from that? And then I want them to know, how to handle their, whatever. Like if you pick a few things of this is what I want them to have grown in by the end of the summer, then go backwards from that. It feels less overwhelming.
Right. And I just think with a little bit of intentionality, I'm trying to bang the drum on, hey, I'm not against, I love summer trips and camps and cooking camps and soccer camps and band camp. All that's great. Just don't let all of that squeeze out a little bit of your emotional health preparation for the year that is coming. You can build those muscles in your kids.
Mm-hmm. And at the same time, I think when you're doing little things each day with your kids, you've got to plan in little things each day for yourself to keep yourself mentally healthy. Wouldn't you agree?
100%. I mean, my not so secret is I'm trying to get you guys to do this with your kids because I know it's good for you.
Mm-hmm.
And as you begin to practice these things along with your children, guess what? It's going to help you too.
Mm-hmm.
And the greatest gift that you can give your child is a healthy you, as we say all the time.
Yep. So good.
It's going to be a great summer, V.
Yeah, those are good takeaways for families to do and start the summer off with. So we've got one more episode after this one, and then we're taking a little break for the summer. Yeah, we are.
Hey, you guys realize I found out all this stuff on here. Like in these calls is when we're taking a break for the summer. Just as I'm ready to unveil my brand new studio that we've been working hard to get ready. We're going to take a break. Well, good. When we come back next year, then it will be finely tuned for our times together.
Yeah, it'll be great. And we'll have even better content coming. So it'll be good. Well, go. I know after this, you're going to go into your stretch lab. So go get stretched out. Yeah,
usually I walk in and they say, okay, what do we need to work on today? And I'm going to tell them today, hey, just pick a spot. It doesn't matter. You want to, from my elbow to my toe to my neck, pick my back, pick a spot and start working. And it is something that is not very pleasant, but it's always beneficial, which is kind of how life is, isn't it? We can do our things.
True.
Hey, two things. Can I say right quick?
Yes.
Quit pointing and interrupting.
I have something too. Go ahead.
The first thing I would say is one of the things I think could help you as moms. I think it's mostly moms that listen to this. It helps dads too. But if you're on Insta, I have a little, I've started a channel and it's called Daily Dose of Hope. I have no clue how you subscribe to it. Bailey will tell you here in a minute. But, this is another one of those small things. Sometimes I end the day with just a prayer for you. Lots of times I start the day by saying, hey, remember this today. If you want that, go to my Instagram account, and Bailey will tell you how to sign up for the channel. The other thing is we're going to tell you first because you're a part of our podcast. We are releasing another tool. This is a journal. It's a 40-day journal that is about the 40 IMs. And you can get a copy. That we have an adult version and we have a child version. And one of the ways you could build some peace and a culture of peace in your home this summer is you could use this journal. You could be doing yours, your child could be doing theirs, and then once a week you could talk about it. And we're going to talk more about it, I hope, on this last episode. But I just want you guys to know, honestly, man, I'm so excited. I think this is going to be a great tool that will get these conversations going in our homes. So I want to mention those two things quickly.
Yes. And I believe when this episode comes out that we will have already officially, we will have just be launching them in like 2 days after this episode comes out. So if you're following our Be a Goby Instagram, you'll be seeing lots of things on there. So make sure you are, and you'll see more about the journals. So I'm glad you mentioned those.
And what did you have that I interrupted?
I wanted to say that I want to encourage you, Dad, to share more about your garden on your Instagram, because we get lots of people that listen and they want to see the updates. So you post about your Denton one, I'll share about our Mississippi one, and then people can know what we're talking about.
Yes, ma'am. I will try to do better in that department. I will definitely do that.
As if you need one more thing to do.
Yes, I'm looking for things to do.
All right. Well, I love you, Dad. Thanks for chatting with me today.
I love you too. Hug my grandkids over there and tell and my son-in-law too. Tell my son-in-law I love you guys. Love you.
I'll tell him. Love you. Hi, y'all. Thank you for tuning in to another episode, our second to last one for this semester. I hope that if you're feeling like me, just a little bit blah about the transition to summer and what it's going to look like, and you're a little bit unsure, I hope you walk away today with some encouragement and some things that you feel like you can do just to cultivate a house full of peace and intentionality. And just know that you're not alone. I'm in it with you. And that, we can do this. I feel like someone needs to hear today that God's given us these tasks and he's right there along with us, and he's not gonna let us down. So I hope that encourages you today. Share this podcast with a friend that you think needs to hear it. And we will see you not next week, but the next on our last episode of the season or semester, whatever you want to call it. Okay, bye.